today. We are starting the vlog a day late, but I finished Psychotic Obsession and then was like, I really don't think I can read anything else at the moment. Interesting is probably the most I can say. I have enjoyed reading Leigh Rivers' writing. However, I don't feel the need to go on to the Edge of Darkness trilogy. I know it's about Tobias's children, but just reading Psychotic Obsession, I think, was enough for me. I feel like they did justice for how people can just sort of very easily get almost trapped. I don't know if trapped is the correct word, hence the quotations, but I think it was done really well in sort of showing you how people can get stuck in situations because they are in love. And I just think that there was a lot of it that was quite heartbreaking. I also appreciate the fact that the author has said that this is not a dark romance. It is about love. It is a love story, but it is not about romance. Because she also wanted to put out the fact that this was not how love should be. This was not how a romance should be. So I liked that. The only thing I wasn't keen on was the fact that all of Tobias's actions were then put onto the fact that he was mentally unwell. And once again, the illnesses that he has, it was very much a case of, okay, do we keep saying it's okay to pin this stuff on people with mental health issues? Do we keep saying it's okay for people to write things and then blame a character's actions on them being unwell? And that was the thing that upset me, because some of the diagnoses that he had hit home quite hard. And yeah, I don't know. I think that we need to stop adding to the stigma of mental health. I know that this is just one book, and that's fine. But also the fact that, like, he said that his father was the same way. And I am assuming from reading the synopsis of the trilogy that his children or child or whatever sort of head down the same path. And I will not be going on to that trilogy. I don't feel the need to. I feel like when it comes to my mental health, I am very much able to say when enough is enough. And I think if I was to go on reading and have somebody blame mental health for all these horrible actions, or say something along the lines of, you know, this is just what mentally unwell people are like, I think it might trigger a bit of anger, because it's not the case. It is not the case. I'm always very open and honest about the fact that I do have I have borderline personality disorder, and I also struggle with depression. And I do think that when you start putting things out for depression and BPD, I think, well, just any in general, I think automatically the stigma is attached to it and then it gets worse. So for me, like I said, won't be continuing it. I gave it a 3 because I still feel like some of the bits weren't really necessary. And again, wasn't happy with the stigma thing. Also, it did get quite abusive quite early on, and I didn't see this full thing of it growing. So whilst he made her feel like this amazing woman and she felt like she was really special, that's fine. But I didn't see her being made to feel special. I didn't see that. I didn't see her being made to feel like she was just like this whole different kettle of fish. And yeah, I don't know. The more I talk about it, the more I'm sitting here thinking like, was it? Was it okay? But yeah, I don't know. We'll see. So I think I'm probably going to move on to Braving the Storm, which is the second book in whatever I don't even think it's a trilogy anymore. I think it's 4 books now. Whatever the series is. Can't remember. But I read Chasing the Wild by Elliot Rose. Then there's Braving the Storm. And I think the third one is Taming the Heart, something like that. So I'm going to start that. We'll see how I get on because, yeah, apparently Mr. Stormont is right at the top of the daddy of all daddies. So I'm sure I'll find out. But I will catch up with you when I am at least a little bit of a way, so I can give you a good idea of what I think. I have so many issues with Braving the Storm. It's yeah. I don't know. I just don't feel like I don't feel like it's a thing that I should be having an issue with because it is clear cut. So yeah, that's how it's going so far. Hello, I have finished Braving the Storm. Yeah. So Storm is mentioned very briefly in Chasing the Wild, which is the first book of the series by Elliot Rose, and in this second one, Braving the Storm, we are of course following Storm, and he has a run-in with his niece. whose name is Briar. Now, the reason I am very questionable about calling her niece is because they are not blood related. So Storm and Briar's dad, Eric, were both adopted by the same couple. They grew up together as brothers and absolutely hated each other, and that continued even when their adopted parents passed. So that just continued. There was something really big that happened, which I'm not gonna say purely because that is part of the main bit of the story. But something massive happens, and Briar, up until later in the book, is not prior to what actually happened. She just knows that at some point when she was younger, her dad turned around and said, we are not going to be talking about him. We're going to pretend as if he doesn't exist, blah, blah, blah. Now, to me, that says that they are not blood related, and Storm did not watch her grow up. He did not see any of that. He was not privy to all that. So those moments where they start to click, whilst it took a while for me to be a bit like, but they are like known as family amongst like other members of the family, other members of his like group, like his friends and that, know that he has a niece that he's never seen, things like that. So we're a bit on iffy territory, but as far as I'm aware, no blood relation. He didn't watch her grow up. He didn't spend time with her growing up. So it is almost just like two strangers getting together. I could fully get over that. I was partially getting over it. But every time a sex scene came to a head, I suppose. No. Every time something started to happen or they were in the middle of something, he would utter the words of something dirty, but he would involve referring to himself as her uncle. And the scene that was really hot and written really, really well, it just seemed to, I would have like this bucket of ice thrown over me, and it was almost like the scene itself, it didn't matter how good the writing was for the scene. The moment he said something like, let your uncle take care of you, I immediately just went, no, we're not doing that. No. And it just seemed so strange. And it happened without fail every single time. They got a bit saucy. And I couldn't. So I finished it more so because I'd already got up to 75%. So I just thought I'll finish it. Maybe there'll be like some unspoken thing of, okay, we can stop this now. But no, it just continues. So I feel like I really do need to bleach my eyeballs. And it's just, no. So I've decided that after having Psychotic Obsession being quite a dark one, then having a questionable one with Braving the Storm, I am going to start reading Tame the Heart. I say reading, but I have got the audiobook on Everand, so I might do a bit of both because I've got some bits and pieces to do over the next couple of days. So I might do a bit of both. But I think as far as I'm aware, that one is fully set on a ranch. And I think he's a cowboy. And I am really excited about that because, like, I am fully aware that they are not related in any way, shape or form. Not by adoptive parents, not by an adopted brother's child. They're not related in the slightest. Yeah, I'm just excited to get back into my Cowboys arena and just read a book and squeal and giggle because I'm enjoying the fact that they're falling in love and having a good time. I got book mail. So today I came back and I had been gifted Coco Mellor's Blue Sisters and Boys with Sharp Teeth by Jenny Howell. I was gifted those by Claire, just randomly. So I know that I own the Cleopatra and Frankenstein. I haven't read it yet, but I'm a little bit more intrigued by Blue Sisters, so I think this one will be a quick pick up. Like, this won't just sit on the side for a while. This, I think she literally just read me the synopsis on the phone and was like, does that sound good to you? And I was like, yes. And yeah, ta-da. Then I have also been into the works. So I managed to get the stickers off this time. This is Truth or Beard by Penny Reid. And that is part of the Winston Brothers, which, if we're going by what the shop assistant told me, there is a second book of this coming out very soon. So I'm going to have that looked up. I'm going to need to find out. But I'm pretty sure I read that they're twins. Yeah, falling for the wrong twin never felt so good. So I feel like that's going to be really interesting. Also, Persuade Edges, really good. I also picked up the third book by Parker S. Huntington and LJ Shen, which is My Dark Prince. So this is another twisted fairy tale. Although, other than it being said that it's like this Sleeping Beauty woke up to a nightmare, like, I don't really get the whole thing of, like, he claims we're in love, yet all I taste is our kisses in hate and lust. I don't remember why or how he's the end, but I do remember he's the enemy. So some of it doesn't really make sense when it comes to Sleeping Beauty, but I suppose it will do once I give it a read. I also picked up another colouring book, which I couldn't get the sticker off. It just kept ripping every time I did, so I've left it. But it's Home Sweet Home, and I just like the fact that it's like very cottagecore type stuff. Some are really delicate, some are really detailed, and then some are just really nice and simple. So depending on what mood I'm in while I'm listening to my audiobook, I can have fun either way. So that is my nice little haul for today. And I'm going to chill out, I think. But yeah, look how pretty that painting is. I need to find out if this is an actual painting and they've used it, or if somebody has actually done this, and if they have, magnificent. So not that maybe you're all too interested in what I actually spent my free time doing when I wasn't reading, but that is painting my bathroom, because I want it to be a lighter colour. It was a grey before, like quite a dark grey for a bathroom, but I just wanted it to be a bit more like, I don't know, I just wanted some sort of like ranch theme, I suppose, to an extent. I want to get a couple of pictures to put up here, but I've also really enjoyed going shopping for stuff like this. This was such a good find, and so are the pampas grass and the bunny tails, are they? And I just like everything going so nicely. This was something that was picked up when my son was walking outside, and just because of the area that we're in, sometimes we get a few interesting creatures appear. I realise this is probably not the most flattering piece of footage of me, but I've just washed my hair, given my face a really good scrub, that just felt really icky after decorating, and I wanted to update you on Tame the Heart by Ava Hunter. So I am now on page 219, which is chapter 25. So far, I'm loving it. I am loving the fact that Ruby is sort of stepping in to help Charlie and his brothers on the ranch give a sort of social media presence. It obviously speaks to social content creators everywhere. Just talking about how she's going to do certain things to connect people to the ranch, and how she's going to make sure that people start to get a proper feel for the ranch and the people that own the ranch and work on the ranch. But I could already see it coming that Charlie and Ruby were definitely going to get a bit close. So we find out quite early on that Ruby actually suffers with SVT, which I can't remember the full thing of it, but it's a condition with her heart, and when her heart rate goes up far too quickly, she ends up hyperventilating and then she passes out. So because of this, she later found out as well that her mother had it and her grandmother had it, and they both died at a very early age. And I think she feels like this is going to happen to her. I don't know for definite if the doctors have told her that this will happen, or if she's been given a sort of deadline, but she's just took it upon herself to make a bucket list. So this bucket list is basically a lot of stuff that her father and her brother will not let her do while they're around, purely because they don't want to lose a member of their family, another member of their family. So she takes herself off and she's like, I'm going to go be free, be wild, and I'm going to do my own thing, which is great. Especially if you meet a cowboy, even better. So it's going really well. There are definitely some hidden issues with Charlie. All we know at the moment is that there was something that went wrong with his wife or partner. I can't fully remember. I've been super tired the last 2 nights, so I've been reading it, but I think I might have to just recap on a couple of things. But I know that his partner, somehow linking to horse riding in some way, shape or form, passed away, and now Ruby has ride a horse on her bucket list, and he's just like outright no, it's not happening. But she hasn't told him yet about her heart condition. They've just agreed that it's going to be a summer thing for them, and then she'll move on. She'll save the ranch for them via their social media stuff. She'll get things set up in place for when she leaves, and then she'll just go and she'll continue to live her life somewhere else. So with that being said, I am going to wrap up this vlog because I would like to go and dry my hair and settle down for the Sunday evenings, chill, and drink a lot more coffee, probably, more than likely. Definitely. I wouldn't be reading with a coffee if I didn't have coffee. So I really hoped that you enjoyed this vlog. I know it was a bit all over the place and maybe not as much reading as I would have originally planned to do. But I do appreciate you sticking around nonetheless. If you have liked this video, then please don't forget to hit a thumbs up down below and subscribe if you haven't already. And I will see you in the next one. Bye.